Hey, my lovely goal-getters. Welcome to the Moms Making Money Show. I'm your host, Amie Pederson, business mentor and confidence coach for the emerging boss mom. It's my mission to help amazing women just like you up-level yourself and your business because you are meant for more than wiping boogers and folding laundry. I'm also a wife, mother, urban farmer, influencer, green juice enthusiast, and an unapologetic lover of cowboy boots. I can't wait to help you grow your business by sharing my tips, tricks, proven business strategy, experience, and incredible guests. Hang on tight and enjoy the show. This episode is brought to you by ButcherBox. This is an amazing service of being able to skip the store and spend more time on what's really important, our families. This is a company that I use to get my meat delivered, free delivery, right to my front door. Every single box that I get every month is made specifically based on my customization. I get to pick everything that goes in there. And I get to do so confidently knowing that 100% of my animal protein is coming from 100% grass-fed and grass-finished beef, heritage breed pork, and free-range organic chicken. All of it is amazing. I also love knowing that none of these animals are ever given hormones or antibiotics. I love that they have partnered with small farms and that they're able to deliver this meat to us for less than $6 a meal. Plus, it's always free shipping. And the way that they're able to save us money is because they're skipping the middleman. They're skipping the store. So all of that markup that we typically see on grass-fed and grass-finished products and organic chicken and sustainably raised meat and animal proteins, all of that has been removed because everything comes straight from them to your front door. And it's super important to me as an animal lover, as somebody who lives on a little mini farm myself, that all of these animal proteins have been naturally and responsibly raised and fed. This is a huge deal for me, but it also makes the quality of the meat so much better. We get tons and tons of compliments every time we prepare a meal for somebody else, as well as just loving it ourselves. We've used ButcherBox for our Thanksgiving turkey, as well as the prime rib for Christmas, and we just love it. So if you want to give it a try, use coupon code AP10, like Amie Pederson 10, and they'll give you $10 off your first box, as well as they'll give you a free package of bacon in your order. Hello everybody. Welcome to a live recording of the Moms Making Money Show. So those of you who are catching us live on video, welcome. And to all the listeners catching us over on iTunes, please feel free to leave any comments in your show note area and ask any questions. I will be coming back through and answering those as we start to put out these episodes and go through a lot of this stuff, because I know a lot of people have already had questions about it. So this is the second episode where I am talking about some of the things that I've been doing with my health stuff. So those of you catching this on the video, it is Santa's workshop in here. So we've got all kinds of stuff all over the place. So don't mind that. But I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit. I've got here in my hand, I've got these 4 different test results. I've got about $2,000 worth of tests here that I've taken and gone through, and I'm working with a naturopathic doctor. I am also working with a certified nutritionist who is certified in the GAPS protocol, which is something that we're going to talk a little bit about today, and we're going to continue to talk about moving forward. So the tests that I had done, which I told you guys I would come back and talk to you guys a little bit about once I had those done, I did a heavy metals testing, and luckily, because I do take pretty good care of a lot of different things that I do, like on a preventative level. I don't use aluminum foil when I'm cooking. I don't, use a lot of toxic stuff when I'm cleaning, things like that. A lot of my toxic levels were actually really surprisingly low. So, like I didn't have anything come up for lead, cadmium, or arsenic. I had a little bit come up for mercury, and I had some show up still from aluminum, which is this one right here. This also shows different types of other mineral deficiencies. I was really surprised that my potassium, calcium, and magnesium were really good. You'll see that here for those of you watching. Those are all above the line here. Everything else was below. So I'm taking a mineral supplement for that, and that's a liquid mineral supplement. So getting into some of the other tests, I did a test for mold. And the reason that we did this test is when I went and sat with the nutritionist, she asked me all the things, basically from the day I was born, how I was born, the health of my mother, the health of my grandmother, all of that leading up until now. And one of the things that we discovered was, well, it wasn't a discovery, I knew it, but is when I first moved back to California, I was living in a home where there was some mold exposure, and I'd lived there for quite a long time. And so she said it was, those spores will continue to grow in your body. And I never did anything about it. I mean, I eventually moved out after cleaning the mold and all that stuff. And I was younger. I think I was like 19 or something like that, 18 something. And so since I was younger, I didn't really do anything. I just moved out. I didn't think about remediating it. The landlord wasn't willing to do anything about it. So I just moved, not thinking anything about it for my health or anything like that. So those spores continue to stay in my body. So this, I don't really know how to say it. It's like an okra toxin. The normal level is under 4, and mine came back over 20. So you'll see that here if you're seeing it on the video. And for those of you who are catching the podcast, you can hop over to YouTube and find this video. The other one that came back was the mycophenolic acid. And that one, it says it's produced by penicillin fungus. And it's also an immunosuppressant, which inhibits the proliferation of B and T lymphocytes, which are your white blood cells. And this can also cause you to be more prone to getting different types of infections, including candida, which I did test positive for. Let's see. This is another kind of toxic metals thing. There's something like 12 or 13 pages of information here. So we talked about that. And then I did what's called an organic acids test, where I did find that candida. So the normal range is, what is the normal range? Should be anywhere under 29, and my value was at 29. That was, I think, one of the only ones that really caused her big concern. Some of the other things that we kind of found too were things like my vitamin C was like dead. I was getting like 0 vitamin C. I was getting 0 vitamin D, 0 vitamin B. My B6 was really low. My B5 was really low. My vitamin C should be at 10 or between 10 and 200. I was at 1.7. My CoQ10 was low. My biotin is low. So I have all these things that are low. Amino acids. So one of the things that came up around this, so you guys, this test was done by Great Plains. The toxic metal was done by Great Plains. The myotoxin was done by Great Plains. And then I also did a hair analysis that was done by Analytical Research Labs. The reason that it is apparent that I am deficient in a lot of these vitamins, which basically means that I'm malnourished, isn't because I necessarily eat poorly. I eat high quality foods a lot of the time. Yes, I could have been doing a lot better in the last couple of years. no question about that. But even when I am eating high quality foods, I'm taking high quality supplements. Part of the problem is that these vitamins are not being absorbed into my body because, in addition to the candida I've recently recovered and started to heal my adrenal fatigue. So I'm really happy about that. That's taken the last year. And that's a huge accomplishment. But I have leaky gut. And you guys, this is so, so common. They say that probably 8 out of 10 people, that's 80% of the population, likely has some form of leaky gut. And I have probably what they would consider a moderate to a moderate severe case of it because I do have allergies. I have seasonal allergies. I have skin allergies. I have major sensitivities to things like perfumes and like just all kinds of environmental type of things. And I have a severe sensitivity, like through the roof, like off the chart sensitivity to casein, gluten, and Gilead, whatever. It's part of gluten. So gluten, something like whatever. I know I'm saying that wrong, so you guys don't have to correct me. But a lot of those things are because of the leaky gut. So if you think about leaky gut like a pair of pantyhose, right? So your gut lining is, say, like that pantyhose, right? And you fill it up with water. The water's going to seep out as it should. It's supposed to do that. And some of the stuff will get through. But now think about that same pair of pantyhose, and all of you women who've ever had to wear pantyhose before, think that you used to have to wear them to work when you were like in the 90s and early 2000s. Remember that being part of a dress code. Inevitably, you would get a run. So you think about that run is essentially a hole in those pantyhose. That's where things like casein and different proteins like gluten and other things seep out, including your vitamins, right? Including the things that you really, really need to be sitting in that intestinal tract and being properly absorbed into your body. Well, they seep out and your body starts to attack it. Your body's like, oh, holy crap, this is not supposed to be here, because it's not, right? And your body doesn't then metabolize these nutrients as nutrients themselves. They start to attack it as a foreign invader. Then there's all sorts of other levels of things that come along with leaky gut, including, the good bacteria not being able to fight off the bad stuff. So one of the ways that I heard about your gut being kind of set up is think about having a castle. So any of my Game of Thrones people, you guys probably already have a visual of what a castle looks like. On the top perimeter, you have your soldiers. Then on the inside, you have like your townspeople. These are your cooks, your cleaners, your clothing makers, your shoe makers, even the sword makers, right? They are in there and they are equipped to do their job. The soldiers around the top of the castle, they are trained to fight, right? They're up there, they're ready to fight off all the foreign invaders, and that's what they know how to do. Well, once you start getting little gaps and holes, that's when these foreign invaders are able to kind of sneak in. They're able to get in. Well, these townspeople they're not trained, they're not equipped, right? They don't have the tools or the weapons to fight off these foreign invaders. So these foreign invaders are coming in and they're taking over and they're wreaking havoc. So then some of the guys that come down from the wall have to fill the place of these shoemakers and these cooks and whatever, which they're not trained to do. And everything just gets out of balance. So the idea is, especially for me right now, is to heal that gut lining so that I can properly absorb the nutrients that are actually in the food and vitamins that I'm taking. And I have a high quality vitamin protocol. I'm on quite a few different things, including my doTERRA Lifelong Vitality, the PB Assist, and the Terrazyme, as well as the DDR Prime, and a couple of other things that I take periodically. Those were approved by both my naturopath and my GAPS practitioner nutritionist. So that I'm really happy about. I'm taking some liquid vitamin D, as well as supplementing therapeutic doses of things like the vitamin C and a couple of other things. And also to aid in like helping with the detox type of symptoms, I'm going to be taking a little bit of activated charcoal once a day too, just to help flush those things out so it's less of a burden on my liver. Even though I have like the DDR prime and some of the other things that are helping, the Zendocrine Plus, that's going to help me flush it out. This is like a binder to really help utilize getting that stuff out and getting it out pretty quickly. And the other thing, and this is the hardest part, you guys, is we're having a huge dietary shift. And my son Easton is going to be doing this with me. So that means everybody in our house actually gets to do it. We are going to be doing the full GAPS protocol. We've been given the all clear to skip the introduction, which means we do not have to have soup for breakfast and all of that. I do recommend, if you guys are interested in GAPS at all and what this means, it's the gut and psychology syndrome, right? They have it. The book is written by a medical doctor, a medical nutritionist, and a neurologist. So she is all of that. And she's also the mother of an autistic child. And I don't know about you guys, but parents seem to be the best advocates for their children when something's just out of the ordinary, whether it is a skin rash or something else going on a more severe level. So she has come up with, along with many, 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 many other medical professionals and science, this isn't just one of those things that just got made up. Science is all behind it. And it talks about how leaky gut and the different types of gut health are directly related to behavioral problems, skin problems, basically any autoimmune stuff, and how by healing your gut, you can start to heal some of the symptoms of some of these disorders. They talk about things like schizophrenia. They talk about things like autism, dyspraxia, dyslexia, anxiety, so many things that obviously they can't cover every single condition in the book, but they even touch a little bit, I believe, on multiple sclerosis. The other book that I found that was really a good read for talking about gut health was Dr. Axe, his book, Eat Dirt. It's also available on Audible. And I love listening to books on Audible. So I definitely would grab that one as well. So basically, this is a mix between a ketogenic / paleo / specific carbohydrate diet. You are still able to have fruits, which kind of mixes it from being full keto, but you're not eating starchy vegetables like potatoes and sweet potatoes, at least not for a while. I am not able to have eggs or even the fermented dairy at this point in time, just because I am so sensitive to casein, and that casein is giving me trouble. It gives me gas. It makes my stomach bloated, and the same with gluten. I also did a genetic test. I don't have those results back yet, so I will talk about them on a later interview or a later episode after I go and have my appointment next month with the nutritionist. Because there are certain genetic markers that make you more prone to having certain things. So you guys hear I have like the snuffles all the time. Part of that is because of my gut, right? Constant, like I call them snuffles with my kids, but constant, now brain fog. I have to get out my frankincense. Constant stuffiness is a direct like symptom of having leaky gut or something going on with your gut. And my son Easton, he's 6, he has it so badly. Oftentimes kids with eczema, that's a telltale sign that they've got something going on with their gut as well. Teenagers with acne, same, gut. So we are going to be diving into this. We've started kind of easing our way in after the cruise because it was really, really difficult on the cruise to eat things that we actually enjoyed eating that fit the protocol. So one of the things that we're going to have to do eventually is figure out how to navigate traveling while being on this protocol, because the protocol itself lasts between 1 and 2 years. And so we're really kind of buckling down and getting in for the long haul. So I invite all of you guys to do some research on it. Ask me any questions. I'm happy to share any little tips, tidbits, whatever. Follow me on Pinterest. hop over to amiepederson.com, follow along on the blog. Obviously, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe with the little bell, whatever, on YouTube, and make sure that you guys are following along. And I'm happy to talk to you guys too. So if you're in my Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise group on Facebook, leave any questions that you have there. That's the best place to reach me. So if you're listening here on, YouTube, or you're listening on the podcast, just hop over into the group. It's Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise, and you'll find me there. This is a free community where you can ask me anything. I call it Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise because we talk about health, we talk about business, and we talk about education and learning. So this is like a really great place for empowering each other, empowering our health, learning new things, and also if you have a business, growing your business. So that's really all I have for today. We're going to dive into a lot more stuff as the things start to come up. We are going to start making a lot more bone broth and meat stocks and different things. And really, so also anybody who's listening or watching who has done GAPS, one of the things that I struggle with personally is coffee and coffee creamer. So if you have a recipe for a GAPS approved coffee creamer, let me know. I love to drink coffee and I really don't want to give it up, but I don't like to drink black coffee. So anything you have to share, please feel free to share it. Share it in my group, share it in the comments, share it in the show notes. I would love that. But basically that's it, you guys. I'm going to be giving more information over in the show notes as well as in the blog. So keep an eye out and I will see you guys later. Bye.